Hey everyone, welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind Podcast. I'm your host, Stevie TPFL. It's September 16th, it's 2016, it's Friday, and we have 14 baseball games to talk about tonight. Not talking about the Cubs 2 o'clock game, it's not on any of the slates. They do this every Friday throughout the baseball season, and it's just one less game that we have to worry about. And it's a game that would have been interesting to have on the slate, but we have so many spots that are targetable here that don't need it. And like I mentioned yesterday, we talked some football yesterday with the Siege, but he's back for some baseball talk. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Apparently, there were a lot of hot takes on that podcast yesterday. I didn't really realize. I mean, I knew there were a couple, but apparently there were more hot takes out there than I realized. I kind of went throughout the day, so that's good. I always like to be on the contrarian side of things.
You were getting blown up on Twitter there by a few people.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but that's okay. We will press on.
We shall. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, FantasyDraft.com, ton of fantasy draft football action. They do have some baseball stuff up, so make sure you guys are checking them out. They have a $100,000 run and gun this weekend, $25 buy-in, a $25,000 5-week super survivor where the top 70 advance each week, only a $33 buy-in there. So make sure you guys are checking that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you haven't signed up there, use promo code GRINDERS. That way you guys get incentives here at Roto Grinders for free for a year for fantasy draft. And you get a 100% deposit bonus up to $600. Also, Fantasy Draft is sending 2 Grinders members on an all-expenses paid trip. And if you go to the top of the forums, click the thread that's right there pinned at the top. You can read details on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're playing on the fantasy draft already, then you're definitely going to want to check this out and, have a chance to go on a trip. Those are always fun, right, CJ?
I love trips. I don't know about you.
I love trips too. I like trips to Baltimore where Tampa's heading, and it's Chris Archer, Ubaldo Jimenez. Is Archer interesting here, or are we just playing the fade?
I think he's interesting. You can play him if you want. I think he's certainly a GPP viable option for sure. Kind of just comes down to what your comfort level is here. In Archer, I mean, he can get blown up with the best of them, but he's certainly also a solid strikeout guy, and the Orioles can strike out a bunch.
My issue with Archer, I agree with you. I think he is a tournament option on the slate. My issue with Archer is this game means a lot to Baltimore, and it doesn't mean as much to Tampa. And I feel like these are the type of games that I always like to take the other side.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just I'm not going to really take the Orioles bats here unless I'm going all in on Archer. So probably be a fade if I'm not playing Archer.
Man, where can we attack Jimenez here?
I don't know. He just dominated this team a couple weeks ago. We sure we can't play him again?
I don't want to. I really don't. I know he pitched well in that game, but man, like that was in Tampa. I think that definitely has something to do with it. But like when you only get 2 hits off of a guy, it doesn't matter what stadium you're in.
He hasn't given up more than 3 runs since July 8th.
Oh man, can we turn the podcast off already? Like we're making a case for Ubaldo Jimenez here.
Yeah, actually, since he's come back from the DL, he's given up 3 or less in every start. So, yeah, I don't want to be on this train making a case for him. I'm just saying if you wanted a punt, he's not even a punt price. I don't know. Let's just move on before we say something that we regret.
Kevin Kiermaier, Corey Dickerson is kind of where I was looking, but it all depends on where Dickerson's hitting. And Kiermaier's priced so high, like 3,900 on FanDuel is just too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that.
You look at the game log, and obviously he's been having good games. That's why his price is so high. I can't do it. This game is kind of 2 teams that I'll probably end up stacking, and that's probably it.
Yeah, sounds fair to me.
All right. Can Matt Forte stop running the football? Miami at Philadelphia, Tom Kohler, Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan against the Marlins again.
Lineup's a lot better this time. We should have pulled the trigger last time we wanted to, but he's probably a GPP option, I guess. But if Stan's in the lineup, then it's just no way.
Yeah, they're saying that there's a good chance that he could join the lineup here on the slate. And if he's joining the lineup, you think he's healthy enough to, roster in DFS?
Yeah, I absolutely think so. And it's Adam Morgan, so I definitely would be interested in doing it.
Yeah, Ozuna too. Like Ozuna's in a great spot in this matchup. He's definitely a guy that I'm going to be targeting. Hitting the ball a lot better here towards the beginning of September. Looking at his August numbers, not that great.
Yeah, finally been getting some hits together, which is always good.
Don't look at the score in the Jets game.
Did he really?
Yeah, 15-yard run. Live tilt is what this podcast is going to be called with this Forte stuff. Anyway, back to Ozuna. I'll let you talk Ozuna while I turn my mic off.
I mean, he's fine, I guess. I'm not really wild about him. But, it's a tournament option for sure. I think I'd be more likely to include him in a stack than just to say, like, as a one-off for sure.
Yeah, I like him as a one-off. I'd probably play Stanton as a one-off. If you want a really safe cash game play, I always think that Prado is a really safe play against lefties.
Sure.
Looking at the Philadelphia side, any interest in any of these guys against Tom Kohler?
Tommy Joseph, if he plays against the reverse splits guy.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Kohler was a guy that was pitching really well, but, 4 of his last 5 starts have not been great. Finally getting that regression. He wasn't that good, but this might be an interesting spot for him. I don't hate Kohler here. And I kind of agree with you that Frank or Joseph would be my guy.
Yeah, that would totally be my combination.
All right, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Ryan Vogelsong against Robert Stevenson in Cincinnati. Any interest in either one of these pitchers?
No.
You summed it up easier than I could have. No sounds great. We'll start with the Cincinnati side. Anything that you like here?
Yeah, I like Votto. I like Peraza. I like Schebler. Probably about it.
Yeah, is Adam Duvall just kind of fallen off for you?
I don't mind him. It's a full slate. I don't think he's going to be like, if I'm going to attack right-handed power hitter against a righty, I think there's another guy or two that I would like a little bit more.
Yeah, Adam Duvall's price is down. That's the only interesting thing here for him. Still has 30 home runs on the season, but to me, it feels like a lot of that damage came before the All-Star break.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at the Pittsburgh side of things here against Stevenson, man, McCutchen feeling the heat right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been really bad for most of the season here. But, I mean, Stevenson's just a really, really poor pitcher. He pitched good early in the season, but lately he hasn't. And he's on fire now with 3 home runs in his last 2. So this could be another good spot for him to hit another.
Interested here in Josh Bell if he's in that 2 spot.
As always, it's tough on FanDuel because he takes the first base spot where you can use him in the outfield. Way better play.
Yeah, like fantasy draft. I think on DraftKings he's still outfield eligible over there. Those are going to be the spots. I'm not going to play him on first base. I agree with you there. Any interest in Polanco or Kong here for Pittsburgh, or you just kind of going to stack Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it would just be a stack if I was going to go there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting which lineup will we get? The credit card roulette of Pittsburgh lineups.
Who knows? Well, Harrison's on the DL, so hopefully we get Frazier the rest of the way.
I'm hoping, right? Like it should happen.
You would think so, and if he is, he's still a punt shortstop on FanDuel, so fire him away.
Yeah, 2,300, definitely interest there. All right, let's talk about our Red Sox. They're in Fenway against the Yankees. It's Clay Buchholz against Luis Cisa. I'm guessing no on the pitchers here.
No, we were in such a great mood before this pod started, too. Red Sox walk-off win. We were on a high, and then Matt Forte had to happen. And then we saw Clay Buchholz was pitching. Great.
I'm still going to fade the Thursday night game every week this year.
I am, too. It's just annoying.
It happens sometimes. And, yeah. All right, let's talk bats here. What are we doing with the Yankees bats here against Buchholz?
You play them in any order you like, and don't fade Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, like that's who I'm looking at is Sanchez, right? Like Ellsbury, Gardner, definitely in play, but it's probably going to be those two and Sanchez, depending on where Didi bats. He might be a guy that I look at, but shortstop on FanDuel is going to be tough for me with Adam Frazier being so cheap.
Yeah, he's definitely the front runner, but certainly there are other options you could use like Didi in a good hitting environment. So I don't mind that at all. And there's some good BVP for the Yankees, as you would possibly suspect here. Headley would be an interesting tournament option as a guy to include in your stack if he gets in that lineup.
Yeah, shocking. They have good BVP against Buchholz.
Yeah, I know that sounds like breaking news.
Yeah. Red Sox here against Cisa. They're all in play to me. Dustin Pedroia, the hottest hitter on the planet right now.
Yep, sounds. I wouldn't mind Hanley too or Ortiz, as always. Perfectly fine tournament options.
What do you put into this Pedroia hot streak as a Red Sox fan?
Can we just keep it going for another 6 weeks?
I hope so. Man, Red Sox are rolling right now. Definitely like the Red Sox stack. We're a little biased, but I think this is definitely a good spot for the Red Sox stack.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to go contrarian off of Coors a little bit.
Oh, Coors Field. Detroit at Cleveland. Corey Kluber against Michael Fulmer. We haven't got to talk about a pitcher that we like yet. Do you like Kluber in this spot against Detroit?
I haven't decided. I can't decide. I want to. Like, I kind of want to go all in on Kluber, but boy, the Tigers' offense isn't cold at this point, and Kluber kind of just can't seem to get out of his own way sometimes. But then he puts up like these great starts, and then you just look at some of these others where you're just like, can he just – I don't know. I like him. I love him. He's one of my favorite pitchers. You're paying all the way up for him. It's just – I wish he was facing the Twins again or something.
So the thing is, like, Kluber's really good against righties. Doesn't give up a lot of hard contact. The home run numbers are pretty solid at 10 home runs in 103 innings. Like the strikeout rate, 29%. So an all heavy right-handed lineup sounds good and all, but like Miguel Cabrera is 21 for 42 off of Kluber with 5 home runs in his career. He's batting 500 against him.
That makes him an elite one-off play.
Yeah, but Kluber actually pretty solid numbers against everybody else.
That makes him even a better one-off play.
VMart, 10 for 32 with 3 home runs.
Yeah.
I actually think Kluber's an interesting tournament play here, especially if it's the normal right-handed heavy lineup. Like you said, I think Miguel Cabrera is a really solid one-off. What are you doing with Michael Fulmer here?
Fade.
What about the Cleveland Bats?
Play. I know I might have just broken your eardrums by saying I'm playing the Indians, but I do like them here at home against Michael Fulmer.
Yeah, you made my ears ring a little bit. I'm guessing it's Santana, Kipnis, Ramirez.
Yep, exactly.
Napoli, if you want to be different instead of Santana in your stack.
Or on Fantasy Draft, you can play both.
There you go. On Fantasy Draft, you can play Lindor. And we got to mention Lindor, too. Like, you know, if you want to be different and pay up at shortstop where everybody's going to be paying down, Lindor's in a good spot here.
Yeah, Lindor is definitely in a good spot here.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a big game in a while either, so his price is starting to come down. It's not that 39, 4,000 that it has been for most of the season. So I like Lindor in the spot.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Oh, Minnesota at New York taking on the Mets. Cologne against Barreros. Any interest in Cologne here? Or are we looking at the bats?
Why do I have to be interested in Bartolo?
You don't. There's going to be we haven't talked about pitching, but there's some options coming up.
But it's Bartolo. He's 7,500 on FanDuel against the Twins, and the Twins are bad outside of Brian Dozier.
And Sano's banged up right now too.
Yeah, I have interest in Cologne, but I don't know how you would ever fade Brian Dozier.
Yeah, they're saying Sano's not even going to travel to New York for this series.
Yeah, won't be surprised if they shut him down for the season, but I mean, Brian Dozier, lock and load on all teams.
No, yeah, I'm definitely with you. I like Dozier a lot in this matchup. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned your boy Kenny Vargas yet.
It's a righty. We don't play him against righties.
But it's Cologne.
We don't play him against. We do not play Kenneth Vargas against righties. Do not do it.
He almost won me a tournament on fantasy draft the other night when he faced a lefty and had 3 hits and a home run.
The key word was facing a lefty.
Yeah, 3% owned. I was thinking me and you were the only 2 people. Any other bats that you like here from Minnesota outside of Dozier?
Nope.
Yeah, Polanco's a guy that I like against lefties as well. All right, so looking at we want Mets bats here in this matchup. And Cespedes is in a dream spot here. Barreros really struggles with righties. He gives up a lot of home runs to righties. Cespedes, a reverse splits guy. This is a great spot for Cespedes, but I want to target him here. It's a 14-game slate, and it's the Mets at Citi Field.
I think you've made the exact case of why you don't play any bats and why you move on.
Oh, you got to play Cespedes.
You can. I'll watch.
Wow. Okay. This is a really good spot for Cespedes. So
it is a good spot, but I have concerns. I'm not sure how completely healthy he is. And he's had a multi-hit game once in the entire month. So, it's kind of a spot where you're going to need a home run, and then even then you're still paying an elite price just for 1 home run. I think we can do better.
He has 3 home runs in his last 10 games. It's not like he hasn't had the power. He just hasn't had multi-hits.
Well, that's kind of what you need to win tournaments, so it's kind of a factor.
He'll give me that home run. Washington at Atlanta, Max Scherzer, John Gant. Max Scherzer against the Braves. The Braves, man, has there been a more tilting team to target this season?
Just don't target them. Then it's really simple.
Oh, man, but Scherzer against the Braves.
It's a good spot. No denying that.
So he's faced the Braves quite a bit this year. 9-5. He had 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, gave up 2 earned runs. 8-20 at Atlanta, 6 1/3, 6 strikeout, 4 earned runs. And I swear they faced, right here. The first 2 games of the season, 7 innings and 6 innings, 7 Ks, 6 Ks, 4 earned runs, and 2 earned runs. So he's been getting beat up by the Braves this year.
Yeah, I still think you can play him if you want to, but I certainly understand the fade.
I think you can definitely play him in a tournament, but Nick Markakis, of all people, has 4 home runs and 31 at-bats against Scherzer.
Okay.
Hey, you're a BVP guy too. That's interesting stat.
Sure. It's hard to believe it when he doesn't actually have he's got, what the hell? No, he's not at 4 home runs.
Who, Markakis?
No, you're reading the wrong column.
Now I feel so much better about wanting to target Scherzer because everybody's going to be off of him.
No, Stevie. I was 4 home runs. What?
Oh, man. Well, at least my DeLand boy is going to score a touchdown in this game.
Who'd you say your boy was?
Mike Gillislee is from the same town as me. He graduated a year after I did in high school.
Okay, well, that's nice. Except he got tackled at the 1.
John Gant, no.
That sounds about right.
All the Trey Turner against the Braves. All the stolen bases.
All the Daniel Murphy.
All the Bryce Harper.
Okay, and we can move on to the next game.
Oh man, Wilson Ramos is cheap on some of the smaller sites. If you play on the smaller sites, I don't mind him. But fine. FanDuel, man, $3,500. I'm not paying that price for him.
Nope. Much rather play Gary Sanchez.
Much rather play Gary Sanchez is something that I never thought I'd say this season. Oakland at Texas, Cole Hamels, Kendall Graveman. Just sign me up for all the Cole Hamels.
Let's see. Is Chris Davis playing? Most likely, yes. Is he going to be low owned? Yes, he is. Sign me up.
Yeah. I don't hate the one off of Chris Davis.
37 home runs. I don't think there's a guy that – I don't think there's been – if we had calculated total ownership the entire year, I'm sure percent per home run, he'd be the lowest owned and it wouldn't be close. No one ever rosters him, ever.
Him and Trumbo.
I mean, Trumbo at least gets chalky sometimes. Chris Davis hasn't been chalk since May. Love me some Chris Davis in this spot. Yes, Cole Hamels is a good pitcher, but he can give up the long ball. And after a rough start to September, Chris Davis has turned it on. He has, 8 RBIs in his last 4, 2 home runs. Sign me up.
Yeah, 276 ISO against left-handed pitching, 37% hard contact. He's definitely going to hit the ball hard. He does still strike out a lot. I think Chris Davis is a very valuable tournament play here. Kendall Graveman on the other side here, he's been really frustrating this season too. Like, numbers aren't outstanding, but he doesn't typically get shelled either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking at the Texas bats, anything stand out to you here?
Just the stack, I would say.
Yeah, we seen him blow up. Like, I'm not saying that he can't blow up. He blew up in his last start. He gave up 8 earned runs. But before that, it was the beginning of August. He gave up 6 earned runs, and it was like 1 and 3 and 0 and 4. Like, Kendall Graveman is so frustrating because I stack against him all the time. Definitely going to stack Texas again here today.
Yep, no problem with that. And there's no one I wouldn't stack.
I definitely agree. White Sox at Kansas City. Chris Sale, Ian Kennedy. Sean Manaea just pitched really well against Kansas City. Can Chris Sale do the same?
He can, but Chris Sale has a tougher opposition against him, and Ian Kennedy against the White Sox. This is a pretty dreamy spot for my boy. If I'm playing multiple tournament teams, certainly going to have Ian Kennedy exposure.
You gotta have pitchers from both sides of this game. Like,
yeah, the total is 7. I don't think we've seen a game of totals of 7 since like April.
Yeah. And for that reason, I don't think I'm going to be like heavy on any of the bats either.
There's no bats in this game I have any interest in whatsoever.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page for the first time all year. Oh, man, that was an Ian Kennedy joke for people that don't listen to the podcast. I mean, Siege, I don't think I played Kennedy all year. San Diego.
I'm concerned now, too. Thanks a lot.
What's that?
Now I'm concerned.
Oh, now because I'm jumping on board?
Yeah, you're jumping on. That's never a good sign when someone just hops onto the train.
Yeah, I think you summed it up. It's in Kansas City. It has a 7 total. It's supposed to be 74 degrees at first pitch. Like, this is great pitcher's weather.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
All right, San Diego, Colorado, Tyler Chatwood, Christian Friedrich. Chatwood's the guy that pitches really well on the road, but not so much at home. Me and you love us some San Diego Padres. The issue that we have with the Padres here is Chatwood's a ground ball pitcher, and all the Padres are ground ball hitters outside of Schimpf.
Ryan Schimpf.
Ryan Schimpf is real.
Team on Fantasy Draft. Yes, please.
Is he super cheap?
I don't care. He could be 7K, and I'm still rostering Ryan Schimpf in chorus against Tyler Chatwood.
Oh, they finally got their we haven't mentioned Fantasy Draft at all because their slate wasn't up yet.
Oh, it was up when you should have told me. That's why I've been scrolling along the whole way.
Ryan Schimpf, 9,600. Sign me up.
Yep, that's too low.
Oh, man. Alex Dickerson's 8,400.
That's a good play, too.
Jankowski's 7,800.
Yep, for sure. And if Steven Cardullo plays, he's 5,600 against the lefty in court.
Oh, man. He's definitely going to play it, too, right?
I don't know. He didn't last time. He broke my heart last time and didn't play. So we'll see. For some reason, they feel getting Ryan Rayburn at bats is definitely a great idea.
Oh, man. 5,600. Oh, there's some...
Tom Murphy, too, if you need a catcher. What's his price at? That kid kills lefties. He is 5,600 as well. And on sites where you need a catcher, I love him.
Then we found our pivot off of Sanchez.
Yes, we did. If he's in the lineup.
Well, even Nick Hundley hits lefties well, too.
Yeah, he's just a lot more expensive. It's gonna be. I think I might just roll out Sanchez. I don't know if I can pay $9,000 for Nick Hundley.
All right. Nolan Arenado, yes.
Sure.
You got to be on Nolan Arenado.
Sorry, I just am annoyed. Somehow Matt Forte just got the 100-yard bonus.
Oh, the tilt is real. DJ LeMahieu is expensive, but he's a pretty safe cash game play. People don't even realize, like, this guy has been legit this season, and coming down towards the final few weeks of baseball, he's batting .346.
That's good.
That's good. That's really good. 300 is really good.
346 is way better than very good.
Yes. I've been dying to talk about this game. Dodgers, Arizona, Zach Greinke, Kenta Maeda. Any interest in either one of these pitchers? And if you say Greinke, you're just tilting or trolling me.
I will say the DK algorithm is never wrong. And he is very, very cheap, which means it's probably the day to stack the Dodgers bets, which I know some host that hosts the podcast agrees with very much.
Like we're even getting them at discounts too. Outside of Seager, like Adrian Gonzalez is cheap, Reddick is cheap, Grandal is cheap. Oh man, I feel like this is another slate that the Dodgers are going to make or break my night.
Sounds about right.
Oh, what about Kenta Maeda here against Arizona? Like the only thing that worries me is Arizona is one of the hottest teams in baseball right now.
I'm not playing any Kenta Maeda.
I don't think I could do it either. Like, I know he just pitched well against Arizona, at home, and he pitched well against Arizona at home earlier this season. But when they were in Arizona on 7-17, he gave up 5 earned runs to this team. Arizona earlier this year. I think that an Arizona stack could be an option here as a really low-owned, high upside type tournament play.
For sure.
And we get some of the Paul Goldschmidt is 8,000 on Fantasy Draft today.
Well, I guess you have to play him then.
Wow. Wow. All right. Let's move on before I lose my mind. We have Toronto at Los Angeles taking on the Angels. What a game this is. R.A. Dickey against Jared Weaver.
Oh my. How did I miss this game when I was doing my first write down?
That was my initial thought. Right when I seen it, I said, "R. Dickey against Weaver." Oh man,
the total was only 9. That feels low.
Well, you have the narrative of the Rocks being behind Jared Weaver's arm motion. Duh.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, that actually that's what they say. That's why they say he pitches better at home because of where he throws 3/4. And his arm motion puts his hand in the rocks.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
I've read a few articles about it now. It wasn't just one article.
Well, the BVP for Toronto is quite good. And the BVP for the Angels against the Knuckleball is also quite good, whether it be Dickey's or whether it be Stephen Wright's. So I'm all in favor of game stack.
All right, good. The football game's finally over. Yes. Game stack. Yes. If I remember correctly, didn't CJ Cron have a really big game against the Knuckleball this season?
Yeah, it was against Stephen Wright, remember? In Fenway, that game where it rained. Wright was throwing a gem, and then it started raining. Cron hit a grand slam, and then he hit another one, and then Carlos Perez went bonkers. That was the day they scored 20-something.
Man,
oh, no, that was the Buckles day. No, I'm getting those days mixed up. Maybe they were back-to-back days.
69 degrees in Los Angeles is pretty good, though.
For what?
For some Dickey.
Yeah, no. Good luck with that.
No chance. 0 chance. I wanted to just throw that out there.
You're just trying to bait me for a reaction is what you're trying to
do. Dude, that's what I get paid for. I get paid to have CJ hot takes.
Can we just Matt Forte, get off my television screen, will you?
Yeah, both teams in play here. Don't play Dickey, don't play Weaver. If you're gonna play a Weaver, play the other Weaver. Houston at Seattle, Felix Hernandez, Colin McHugh. Any interest here in Felix Hernandez?
Yes. And I have interest in Colin McHugh as well.
I have interest in Felix, because
why is the Felix price 15.6? Why are they doing this today?
Because they didn't know Jose Altuve was not going to play in this game.
Yeah, but the whole team has good BVP. Rasmus kills them. I guess it's just Rasmus and Altuve, but the DK algorithm knows all. I trust the DK algorithm. I think I can't play Felix.
I'm definitely going to have some exposure to Felix. If Altuve's out and Bregman is out, like that lineup gets a lot worse.
Yeah, and I have no interest in. I know I just said I had interest in Colin McHugh. Just scroll down to BVP land. No. Well, okay, I say no. They're either going to hit the ball a long way or they're going to strike out.
Holy crap! A lot of home runs. Nelson Cruz, Robinson Cano could be a really good pairing here.
Absolutely, and if you're doing the full game stack, you can get yourself down to a Zunino too if you're looking for a catcher pivot.
Yeah, man, I think Felix is in play here. I really do, and I like the fact that he's cheaper.
I've decided that I'm no longer smarter than the DK algorithm, and I'm just going to trust it.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think the algorithm factors in injuries. Altuve out. Well, he's not necessarily out yet, but there's a good chance he doesn't play.
He's going to be so highly, I don't know. I'll have to see the Houston lineup, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at too. I want to see the lineup. If it's without Altuve, without Bregman, then I definitely have interest in Felix Hernandez. And I think, like I said, with the Seattle bats, Cano, Cruz, probably the two guys I'm going to target here in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
St. Louis at San Francisco. Matt, I like to tilt Stevie Moore against Luke. I am your father, Weaver. Yes, I went there. I definitely went there. CJ's pounding his head up against the desk laughing. Luke Weaver in a great ballpark against a team that not a lot of people like to target. Can we get Luke Weaver low owned here?
What's the price? I have to click over to see what we got. Yes, 10-2. Sign me up. Yes. Yes.
Is he that
yes. 10-2 on draft. Yes. In. All in. Shoving all my chips in the Luke Weaver basket. Let's go.
Why is he so cheap?
I don't know, and I don't care. Every prospect is the DK algorithm hits all prospects. It hates Dylan Bundy. It hates Luke Weaver. That's fine. We can just keep rostering for 2 months.
Yeah, and he's cheap on FanDuel too, 7,100.
Yep, perfect. Let's do it. Luke Weaver, Team Weaver.
Like seriously,
Luke Weaver, not the good Weaver, not the bad Weaver. They're both pitching in the same time zone. Don't make a mistake and play the wrong one. You don't want to do that.
Somebody did that in the live final. I forget who it was. It was back in the Star Street days. It was before your time. It was 2 pitchers with the same last name, and he played the bad one that wasn't playing that day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and he finished like 4th in the live final, if I remember correctly. So if he would have picked the right pitcher, he would have won.
That's gross.
So that's actually happened before at a live final. Yeah.
Okay, well, definitely don't play Jared Weaver. Play Luke Weaver.
So looking at Weaver, like he's been really solid so far. The strikeout numbers have definitely been there. And when we get past Brandon Belt, Hunter Pence, like even Posey has a 324 WOBA against righties this season.
Does Weaver have a slider?
I don't remember.
It matters. One of the best parts about going to the Roto Grinders party in Nashville is you start talking about players and stuff, and you get some tidbits and you learn some information.
He doesn't have a slider. Change up curve, cutter.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to steal this tidbit, and the person who I'm stealing it from, just know that I would give you credit if I could. Buster Posey has been really struggling against sliders. So if you see a pitcher with a slider, a right-handed pitcher with a slider, don't play Posey.
Well, that's always good information. And I'm sure we'll get to talk about that here on the podcast moving forward anyway.
We will. We definitely will.
Any bats from this game that you like?
I don't mind a Cardinal stack, to be honest here.
I feel like that's something that I would say. Like, you're on the Indians and the Cardinals today. It's just weird. And I like Ian Kennedy.
Cardinals against the lefty, I just never love. But Matt Moore, I feel like, I don't know. I want him to get punished. I want him to get punished for like what he did. And he's not being punished. It's not fair. So maybe it'll be this time. He's been pitching so good, though.
I actually think Matt Moore's in play.
He is in play. Cardinals have been overperforming against lefties the whole year. But if I start hopping on Matt Moore, that's when he's going to get absolutely shelled.
Yeah, Cardinals don't strike out against lefties a lot either, and Diaz is back. That's a huge help for this lineup.
Absolutely. Get out Greg Garcia, add Diaz. That's a very net positive.
Yeah, it's Steven Piscotty. He's really good against lefties.
He is very good.
That's gonna do it here. I feel like we cruised through that one, even with some Matt Forte tilt.
I think we cruised through it just due to the Matt Forte tilt. We just kind of want to go start chugging beers. I feel like it's tough when you're just drawing dead on the Thursday slate. Thursday's not even over yet. That's a tough pill to swallow for sure.
The only thing that I could think of that it's going to make it better is how many single Forte teams are there going to be out there? People like to take 2 or 3 people from the games.
Yeah, Forte was a popular pick in the I love that Playboy Q. It was a single entry 300, and he was 13%, and a lot of that was single. So that's gonna be tough to overcome. But that's all right. I feel confident in my squad. It's a lot of the guys we talked about yesterday. So hopefully that game just shoots out, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, the $100 single entry, there was a lot of Forte too, but a lot of him paired with other people.
Yeah, there was some paired with the Jeff D. So it's not the end of the world. And honestly, if Antonio Brown and AJ Green do what we think, and if the weather, it's supposed to rain there, and people are like, "Oh, I'm scared of the rain." As long as it's not going to be windy, that just means the corners can slip up more. And if the corners slip up against AJ Green and Antonio Brown, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and it's not like CJ Anderson can't put up a Forte game.
No, for sure. I just feel like if I fade the Thursday night game, I should always win, which I know isn't the case, but I feel that way. So every time that there's points scored, I get bitter about it.
Oh man, I didn't realize Decker had 21.
Yeah, Decker had a monster game too. Bills defense not very good, and Patriots get them next week. Oh no, it's 2 weeks from now, so I don't know who the Bills have next week. We have Texans next week, so who do the Bills play next week? Let's give some football advice here. We went to the baseball really quickly. So the passing attack that you want to play next week is the Arizona Cardinals. Perfect.
All the Fitzgerald.
Yeah, that sounds.
I was digging into my research more after we did the pod, and I don't feel like we talked about Fitzgerald enough. I'm really high on him now.
Yeah, I'm really high on him. He actually was almost a late addition into that Q team, and I almost got off Brown and Green, and I almost went to Fitz and some other players, but I just decided to stick with the core. But yeah, I really like Fitz this week. I have a lot of draft exposure to him.
And not to before we get into Home Run Derby, RotoGrinders has a new article that is going to be so valuable here moving forward, and it's called the NFL DFS Injury Report. It's a paid doctor doing injuries, talking about the injuries that are on each team. Yes, love it.
Is that incentives?
I don't think so.
Wow, that's a really good article. Check it out.
Yeah, it's right there on the main page, so no.
That's awesome.
So, all right, let's play some Home Run Derby for baseball now that we've got our football frustrations out. I feel bad. I got to let you bat lead off here. No Coors Field, obviously.
And I'm going to go ahead and go contrarian right off the bat here. Gary Sanchez, first overall.
Nice. I feel like mine's contrarian. I feel like it's contrarian. Nobody plays this guy except for me. I have a jersey. Doc Jams is happening tonight.
All right, I'm taking Mike Trout against the knuckleball.
I'm taking Cespedes against the bad righty.
Man, you're really trying to just let me win here. I'm going to take another BVP play here. I'm just going to scroll up here, see if I can find a guy with some BVP. I think I'm going to have to play this guy, even though I don't know if he's going to be in the lineup. But since I went super chalky with Mike Trout, I can do it. Oh, no, good. There's some other. Did we talk about the Chris Sale BVP, how the White Sox have owned him? Did we mention that? We should have mentioned that if we didn't. Oh, you didn't tell me this guy had BVP. Oh, Chris Davis Sale with a K. Chris Davis with a K.
Chris Sale pitches for the White Sox.
I don't care, though. Cole Hamels. Chris Davis has BVP against Cole Hamels. Sign me up.
Well, if you went BVP, I have to go BVP now. Man, who did we mention? Oh, it's against Kluber. You went against Hamels. I'm going against Kluber. I'm going Miggy.
All right. I can get behind that. Team BVP. Why not? Let's have some fun with this.
Let's have some fun. At the end of the day, if you had to pick one pitcher not named Archer, Hernandez, Sale, Kluber, or Scherzer to win, who do you got to win a game here tonight?
Zach Greinke. I kid. Stevie wasn't expecting it that time. Luke Weaver.
Oh, you dick. Straight up. Yes, everybody that's listening, I just called CJ a dick. Man, that's who I wanted. I'm looking here to see if I can find somebody that could win. Oh, Cole Hamels. Oh, that's an easy one.
Chris Davis with a K going to hit a double dong tonight.
Yeah, it means he's only going to give up 2 runs. I'm still fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take my Chris Davis 2 home run game and let everybody. Hopefully, my pitcher will just be fine.
I think it's pretty obvious at this point in the season. I don't care who's pitching against Oakland. I'm playing them.
Yeah, I understand that. That's a fair point. It's just Chris Davis is so good.
And you know that I'll have Chris Davis exposure too.
I know you will.
All right, that's gonna do it here for the Friday edition of the podcast. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I hate Matt Forte.
I didn't do my fantasy draft plays. Paul Goldschmidt, one of them at 8,000. Like, sign me up at that price. It's just ridiculously too cheap. Let's see, who else do we got here? I didn't prep one because when I was doing research, they didn't have their slate up yet. Andrew McCutchen, 7,600 at Cincinnati. There's 2. And
Cardullo, 5,600.
There you go. I'll let CJ take the third one. I like that call. It's Coors Field. Definitely like that. So, all right, that's going to do it here for the Friday edition of the Morning Grind podcast. Good luck in your contest this week, and we'll see you again on Monday.